is shining bright. Okay. All right. Good morning, James. Good morning. Top of the day, beautiful people. Tiffany. Saludona, yeah, saludona. Let me get my thing together right here. Hold on. I know it's gonna fall. Sorry. All right, beautiful people. All right. Uh-oh. Good morning. Okay. All right. I got myself together now. Okay, we're good. Hello, beautiful people. I know, right? I think I might get a t-shirt to say hello, beautiful people. Okay, y'all. Happy Thursday. It is July the 30th, y'all. One more day in this month. I know I keep saying it, but I am flabbergasted at how fast this month has gone. Like, seriously, Saturday, we're going to be in August. Time is like, it is sped up so fast, man. I don't even know what to say. I'm just like, where does the time go? Okay, but anyway, it is Thursday, July the 30th, 2020. We are on day 212 of reading through the books of instruction and the prophets. Today we're reading Ezekiel 29, 30, and 31. All right, so let's go ahead and get started straight away. All right, hold on. When I get started, I feel it. Clear my throat, sorry. Okay, y'all. On January 7th, during the 10th year of King Jehoiachin's captivity, this message came to me from Yahuwah, son of man. Turn and face Egypt and prophesy against Pharaoh the king and all the people of Egypt. Give them this message from me. I am your enemy, O Pharaoh, king of Egypt, you great monster lurking in the streams of the Nile. For you have said, the river is mine, I made it for myself. I will put hooks in your jaws and drag you out on the land with fishing sticks to your scales. I will leave you and all your fish stranded in the wilderness to die. You will lie unburied on the open ground. For I have given you as food to the wild animals and the birds. All the people of Egypt would know that I am Yahuwah, for to Israel you were just a staff made of reeds. When Israel leaned on you, you splintered and broke and stabbed her in the armpit. When she put her weight on you, you collapsed and her legs gave way. Like, Egypt could have saved themselves by treating y'all's people with some doggone respect. Therefore, this is what Yahuwah says. I will bring an army against you, O Egypt, and destroy both people and animals. The land of Egypt will become a desolate wasteland, and the Egyptians will know that I am Yahuwah. Because you said, the Nile River is mine, I made it, I am now the enemy of both you and your river. I will make the land of Egypt a totally desolate wasteland from Migdol to Aswan, as far south as the border of Ethiopia. For 40 years, not a soul will pass that way, neither people nor animals. It will be completely uninhabited. I will make Egypt a desolate I will make Egypt desolate, and it will be surrounded by other desolate nations. Its cities will be empty and desolate for 40 years, surrounded by other ruined cities. I will scatter the Egyptians to distant lands. But this is what Yahuwah says also. At the end of the 40 years, I will bring the Egyptians home again from the nations to which they have been scattered. Look at this. Was this the first time we read this? Well, that I can remember, this is the first time Yahuwah is talking about another people he's going to scatter and then bring back. I want to say no, but this is the first time that I remember. I think there is a couple more that he says this to, that he does this to, that he actually calls it out. But right now, I don't remember if it was after it's coming up, or they're going to say it if we've already read it. But I know that there is. Okay. I'll read verse 13 again. But this is what Yahuwah says also. At the end of the 40 years, I will bring the Egyptians home again from the nations to which they have been scattered. I will restore the prosperity of Egypt and bring its people back to the land of Pathros in southern Egypt from which they came. But Egypt will remain an unimportant minor kingdom. It will be the lowliest of all nations, never again great enough to rise above its neighbors. Don't we see that? That has already happened. Remember, Egypt used to be a great, it's in Jash, okay, thank you, Tiffany. It used to be a great superpower. Remember, Egypt used to be a great superpower until it was destroyed. So they got themselves in trouble with Yah because of the captivity. They put Yahuwah's people in captivity, and they was just hard taskmasters. They didn't cut them no slack. They didn't give them any kind of break, you know. But if we look at Egypt today, where it says it will be the lowliest of all nations, never again great enough to rise above its neighbors. Egypt, although it says Egypt was completely destroyed. Egypt, it still exists, but it's not the superpower like it once was. So that's what I began to look at as it talks about the different nations that Yahuwah will completely destroy. Some will be, when it says completely destroy, it means like completely obliterated and never again, no more. You don't exist anymore. And other places where it says that about them, it means that they're like not going to disappear. The people are still going to be there, but the power that they once had is going to be taken away, and they're just going to be like a minor city or whatever. That, oh yeah, Egypt, we passed through there, you know. So then Israel will no longer. Let me read this. Let me see. I'll go back up to 14 again. I keep reading. I will restore the prosperity of Egypt and bring its people back to the land of Pathros in southern Egypt from which they came. But Egypt will remain an unimportant minor kingdom. It will be the lowliest of all nations, never again great enough to rise above its neighbors. Then Israel will no longer be tempted to trust in Egypt for help. Egypt's shattered condition will remind Israel of how sinful she was to trust in Egypt in the earlier days. Then Israel will know that I am Yahuwah. Like, we shouldn't be trusting in anybody else except for Yah. Remember how it said up here that when Israel leaned on Egypt, Egypt broke like a staff, you know, and Israel fell? Same thing. Israel was trusting too much in who she shouldn't. She should have been trusting in Yah instead of trusting in Egypt. On April 26th, the first day of the new year, during the 27th year of King Jehoiachin's captivity, this message came to me from Yahuwah. Son of man, the army of King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon fought so hard against Tyre that the warriors' heads were rubbed bare and their shoulders were raw and blistered. Yet Nebuchadnezzar and his army won no plunder to compensate them for all their work. Yahuwah said they won no plunder. They won no plunder to compensate them for all the work. They went in there and wrecked shop. Yahuwah said that they didn't get paid for what they did. Y'all sent them in there. They were supposed to, when nations go in and they usurp or take over, they take plunder. They take over stuff. They take the booty. Everything that they can take, they take it and distribute among themselves. He said this time, King Nebuchadnezzar's army, they didn't get paid for what they just did, for going in there usurping the authority and stuff. Therefore, this is what, hold on. Yet Nebuchadnezzar and his army won no plunder to compensate them for all their work. Therefore, this is what Yahuwah says. I will give the land of Egypt to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. He will carry off its wealth, plundering everything it has so he can pay his army. Yes, I have given him the land of Egypt as a reward for his work, says Yahuwah, because he was working for me when he destroyed Tyre. And the day will come when I will cause the ancient glory of Israel to revive. And then Ezekiel, your words will be respected. Then they will know that I am Yahuwah. Next chapter, Ezekiel chapter 30. This is another message that came to me from Yahuwah. Son of man, prophesy and give this message from me. Weep and wail for that day, for the terrible day is almost here, for the day of Yahuwah. It is a day of clouds and gloom, a day of despair for the nations. A sword will come against Egypt, and those who are slaughtered will cover the ground. Its wealth will be carried away, and its foundations destroyed. The land of Ethiopia will be ravished. Ethiopia, Libya, Lydia, all Arabia, and all their other allies will be destroyed in that war. Oh, you're welcome, James. For those who can't read his comment, he said, "Thank you for sharing the words. I enjoy the work you put in." Thank you. I enjoy it. I really do. It's not work to me. I just really love reading it. For this is what Yahuwah says: all of Egypt's allies will fall, and the pride of her power will end. From Migdol to Aswan, they will be slaughtered by the sword, says Yahuwah. Egypt will be desolate, surrounded by desolate nations, and its cities will be in ruins, surrounded by other ruined cities. And the people of Egypt will know that I am Yahuwah when I have set Egypt on fire and destroyed all her allies. At that time, I will send swift messengers and ships to terrify the complacent Ethiopians. Great panic will come upon them on that day of Egypt's certain destruction. Watch for it. It is sure to come. For this is what Yahuwah says: by the power of King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, I will destroy the hordes of Egypt. He and his armies, the most ruthless of all, will be sent to demolish the land. They will make war against Egypt until slaughtered Egyptians cover the ground. I will dry up the Nile River and sell the land to wicked men. I will destroy the land of Egypt and everything in it by the hands of foreigners. I, Yahuwah, have spoken. This is, excuse me. This is what Yahuwah says: I will smash the idols of Egypt and the images at Memphis. There will be no rulers left in Egypt. Terror will sweep the land. I will destroy southern Egypt, set fire to Zoan, and bring judgment against Thebes. I will pour out my fury on Pelusium, the strongest fortress of Egypt, and I will stamp out the hordes of Thebes. Yes, I will set fire to all Egypt. Elysium will be racked with pain. Thebes will be torn apart. Memphis will live in constant terror. The young men of Heliopolis and Bubetis will die in battle, and the women will be taken away as slaves. When I come to break the proud strength of Egypt, it will be a dark day for Taphanes too. A dark cloud will cover Taphanes, and its daughters will be led away as captives. I will greatly punish Egypt, and they will know that I am Yahuwah. On April 29th, during the 11th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity, this message came to me from Yahuwah: Son of man, I have broken the arm of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. His arm has not been put in a cast so that it may heal. Neither has it been bound up with a splint to make it strong enough to hold a sword. Therefore, this is what Yahuwah says: I am the enemy of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. I will break both of his arms, the good arm along with the broken one, and I will make his sword clatter to the ground. I will scatter the Egyptians to many lands throughout the world. I will strengthen the arms of Babylon's king and put my sword in his hand. I will break the arms of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he will lie there mortally wounded, groaning in pain. I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon, while the arms of Pharaoh fall useless to his sides. And when I put my sword in the hand of Babylon's king and he brings it against the land of Egypt, Egypt will know that I am Yahuwah. I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations, dispersing them throughout the earth. Then they will know that I am Yahuwah. Last chapter for today, y'all. Ezekiel chapter 31. On June 21st, during the 11th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity, this message came to me from Yahuwah: Son of man, give this message to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and all his hordes. To whom would you compare your greatness? You are like mighty Assyria, which was once like a cedar of Lebanon, with beautiful branches that cast deep forest shade, and with its high top among the clouds. Deep springs watered it and helped it grow tall and luxuriant. The water flowed around it like a river, streaming to all the trees nearby. This great tree towered high, higher than all the other trees around it. It prospered and grew long, thick branches because of all the water at its roots. Birds nested in its branches, and in its shade all the wild animals give birth. All the great nations of the world lived in its shadow. It was strong and beautiful, with wide spreading branches, for its roots went deep into abundant water. No other cedar in the garden of Yahuwah could rival it. No cypress had branches to equal it. No plane tree had boughs or boughs to compare. No tree in the garden of Yahuwah came close to it in beauty, because I made this tree so beautiful and gave it such magnificent foliage. It was the envy of all other trees in Eden, the garden of Yahuwah. Therefore, this is what Yahuwah says. Because Egypt became proud and arrogant, and because it set itself so high above the others, with its top reaching to the clouds, I will hand it over to a mighty nation that will destroy it as its wickedness deserves. I have already discarded it. A foreign army, the terror of the nations, has cut it down and left it fallen on the ground. Its branches are scattered across the mountains and valleys and ravens of the land. All those who lived in its shadow have gone away and left it lying there. Greetings. The birds roost on its fallen trunk, and the wild animals lie among its branches. Let the tree of no other nation proudly exult in its own prosperity, though it be higher than the clouds, and it be watered from the depths. For all are doomed to die, to go down to the depths of the earth. They will land in the pit along with everyone else on the earth. And this is what Yahuwah says. When Assyria went down to the grave, I made the deep springs mourn. I stopped its rivers and dried up its abundant water. I clothed Lebanon in black and caused the trees of the field to wilt. I made the nation shake with fear at the sound of its fall. For I sent it down to the grave with all others who descended to the pit, and all the other proud trees of Eden, the most beautiful and the best of Lebanon, the ones whose roots went deep into the water, took comfort to find it there with them in the depths of the earth. Its allies, too, were all destroyed and had passed away. They had gone down to the grave, all those nations that have lived in its shade. O Egypt, to which of the trees of Eden will you compare your strength and glory? You, too, will be brought down to the depths with all these other nations. You will lie there among the outcasts who have died by the sword. This will be the fate of Pharaoh and all his hordes. I, Yahuwah, have spoken. And that, my beautiful people, is our reading for today. That was Ezekiel 29, 30, and 31. It is day 212, July the 30th, 2020. All right, y'all, so let's go ahead and do the blessing, which is found in Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, beautiful people, I love you, and I'll see you bright and early on the morrow. Peace.